The number one thing we did to help stop wasting food was we replaced the domestic refrigerator in our RV with a residential refrigerator. We had that silly domestic in here. I hated it. I hated it. I had so much food go bad. Did you know that the United States discards more food than any other country in the whole world? A whopping 120 billion pounds, with a B, 120 billion pounds of food per year. That's about 325 pounds per person every year. I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in here and say that most of that waste is not from regular American households like yours or mine, but from corporate grocery chains and fast food restaurants. And if you have ever worked at either one, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know about you, but food waste really bugs me. You worked way too hard for that money to buy those groceries to just toss them out. But the good news is you can make some small changes in how you store your food that'll help you to stop wasting money. I'm going to help you with that today, so let's get right into it. When it comes to organizing an RV refrigerator, you want to keep in mind that things will move when traveling. Bins and containers are going to help with that tremendously, while also keeping everything organized. Clear bins and containers are great because you can see everything you have at a glance, which will keep you from doubling up on items, which in turn saves you money. They also look nice. Clear containers are pretty much available anywhere, but my favorite places to pick them up are Dollar General and Dollar Tree. They're cheap, great quality, and the stickers come off easily. I definitely recommend a Lazy Susan. I found this Lazy Susan at TJ Maxx for $4.99. It's nice to be able to just turn and grab what I need, easily put it back, instead of having to move all this over and kind of dig back. My husband appreciates that too. He said he really likes this. This is like the best thing ever. So, and then moving over to drink holders. I really like these. I probably could fit more in here if we just stacked them and all the way to the front. It keeps everything from falling over. You know, I like them. $1.25 at Dollar Tree, by the way. Don't buy those expensive ones from anywhere else. Dollar Tree is great for stuff for organizing your refrigerator. A couple egg holders. I can fit a lot of eggs in here just in this small section. I usually buy an 18 count and then a dozen, and then these are both full, and then I have about 4 eggs left over that I usually have a spot right here that I just hold the eggs in a little container. These 2 containers, I'm sure you recognize them if you go to Dollar Tree at all. They have different colors, but I like the clear for the refrigerator. One thing I will say, you know, you don't want to put anything too heavy in here. Like, I would never use this for all this kind of stuff because I feel like if you pulled it out, it could be too heavy and this handle could break. So one of them, I just keep all our cheeses in, and then the other one is just all of our lunch meats and like pepperoni, stuff like that. Over here on this side, you know, is just some jam and some miso dip. I use the shelf liner right here just to help keep things from moving around too much. I can still slide these, but they don't slide around during travel day too much. I do put a tension rod here, but even with the tension rod, I mean, it just really doesn't move too much. These don't move too much either, really at all. These will kind of move, but the tension rod is just an added measure of safety. Now on this shelf, I know, look how skinny that is, right? It's like ridiculous. What am I going to put there? There's only a few options as to where you can put the shelves in this. I needed to have this one high up so that I could fit my milk and that I could fit an Instant Pot in here. I didn't want to throw this away, so I made it skinny. The containers that I bought for the freezer came with lids, and I wasn't planning on using the lids. I was just going to toss them actually, but I decided to go ahead and try to utilize these in here. So what we did is my husband just attached a handle. Look at that. So I can easily pull it out, and I keep cream cheese in this one. I keep butter in this one. And then over here, I usually have bacon and sausage. So that's the only thing that ever goes there because pretty much that's all that's ever gonna fit. This spot down here is only for milk and just things that are maybe a little bigger. And then this is where I usually put leftovers as well. And actually you can come all the way out to here with stuff when you close the refrigerator. That shelf kind of goes in, and it looks like you can't come out very far, but you can come pretty much all the way out to here with stuff. So there's quite a bit of room in there. Down here in the drawer, it's just one crisper drawer, which is kind of a bummer. I kind of wish there was two, but this seems to be working okay for me. Having different dividing bins for each produce item again helps me to easily see what I have. These clear bins I picked up from Dollar General. You can use paper lunch bags to help with moisture control for certain produce items. I usually have another paper bag right here for mushrooms. That's a great way to store your mushrooms. As soon as you get home, take them out of that package so they don't get all wet and slimy and icky, and just put them into a paper bag just like this, open. Excellent, excellent hack. Works very well. And then just some pre-cut vegetables, carrots, and celery. And then, of course, in the doors, we have all the condiments. That is really the only thing that you should be keeping there, because if you put anything else like milk, they say you can put milk here, but you really shouldn't because it can go bad quicker. These little containers I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I use them for cheese stick snacks, right? Cute idea. I can't remember where I saw this. Maybe I just came up with it on my own. I don't know. I also like these pitchers because they fit in there perfect. I have two of them, so I could have lemonade and tea, and then our seltzers. We always have something to drink. Okay, now to the freezer. A common theme for organizing any area in the RV is bins. They're everywhere. They work perfect in the drawer-style freezers for keeping everything organized. Don't forget to take measurements before you go shopping for organizing bins. So I have two locker bins here from Dollar Tree. I keep frozen fruit in this one, frozen vegetables in this one. Our ice pops here. I've got some extra frozen lunch meat. Ice trays, of course. This is tomato paste that I freeze in little cubes. On this side, I just keep ice packs for travel days, of course. Back there is some of Jeff's fishing bait. Here's the bins that I picked up at Dollar General. Those are the two that had the lids that I used in the refrigerator. So I just keep some meat and just different, I just put whatever in there. Pretty much whatever I have, that's what's in there. This little top one, when I was in the store shopping, I wanted to find one that would easily slide back and forth across the top of those. So I kind of have a little built-in kind of drawer thingy. And so up here I just keep little things like chopped garlic and some chipotle and some hot dog chili, some salsa, and ginger, and then I can just easily get to that stuff by sliding that over. So we don't have an ice maker on the refrigerator because I'm not a fan. I did not want to spend money on a refrigerator that has an ice maker. I don't like the tabletop ice makers. These are great. They stack well, they're sturdy. I like the shape of the ice it makes. We have 4 trays right here, and it's plenty for us to use ice pretty much as we want. So if you want to know how I really feel about tabletop ice makers, check this video out right here. The number one thing we did to help stop wasting food was we replaced the Dometic refrigerator in our RV with a residential refrigerator.
Sounds controversial.
This can be quite controversial in the RV community, and I don't really understand why, because this lifestyle is about freedom, and you should be able to do exactly what you want to do. And you need to do whatever works best for you. I'm sharing what is working for us and what didn't work for us and why we went ahead and upgraded to the residential refrigerator. First of all, we threw away way too much food. You know, when it's small like that, you can only go shopping once a week anyway and only plan for about a week's worth of groceries. And even though we were only shopping once a week and I was meal planning, we still were throwing stuff away. We had some real concerns about food poisoning. You know, I mean, sometimes you can take stuff out and it's not ice cold, but it smells okay and you're like, oh, I guess this is okay. And you can still get sick from it. Those French doors just pretty much right off the bat weren't even working properly. The seal broke really quick, so that could have been letting a lot of cold air out. But even to replace the seal, oh my gosh, very expensive. I want to say it was a couple $100s to replace the seal around the refrigerator. We tried to treat the Dometic like an ice chest on travel days, but it just never worked well. It always dropped at least 5 degrees. Most of the time it was 10 degrees. We're full-time and we need our refrigerator to work properly. Pretty much from the very beginning, we had problems with our Dometic refrigerator. Let's see, there was something that happened with the propane. I believe there was a propane leak, or it was under warranty. We brought it in, they fixed it, supposedly fixed it. We thought they fixed it. And then we go to use it and something wasn't quite right. I can't remember because this is like 3 years ago, but Jeff went outside to check and saw huge flames, and that's a problem. That is extremely dangerous. RV refrigerators are one of the leading causes of RV fires. I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to have no fire. When we took the old one out on the back wall, I thought it was just dirty and dusty, and I was like, ooh, you know. I go to clean it and it wasn't coming off, and I realized that it was burn marks. We did all the things we knew and learned to do in order to help the two-way absorption fridge work well. We did the fan trick, and I will say that that did help, but it wasn't enough. We installed a small fan outside on the back of the refrigerator to help with air circulation. You know, I didn't pack it too full.
That's a lie!
I did all the things. I bought the goopy little fan that you stick inside that's battery op. That's just junk. Don't let anybody talk you into buying that because it just doesn't work. Don't waste your money on that.
How about new?
They are also extremely expensive to replace.
It's a $6,000 fridge. It's like, geez.
It's absurd.
That thing doesn't work.
It doesn't seem like it should be $6,000 for what it is either. I mean, I realize you could have all these different options of how to keep it cold, but
Not $6,000.
no. I mean, we paid like $7.99 for our new refrigerator. And that was on sale, but the regular price is a little over $1,000. I think it's like $1,035. I mean, are you kidding me? Comment your thoughts below. How do you feel about the Dometic refrigerator? If you have the one that runs on propane and electricity, do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you have a residential? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. So a residential refrigerator might not be for you for a number of reasons. It really just depends, you know, it's personal preference. There are some benefits and drawbacks to upgrading your RV fridge to a residential style. So the benefits, which I think are just obvious, I mean, everything stayed cooler. It just seems to be much more efficient. I can open the door and get a few things out and the temperature doesn't drop 10 degrees. The new refrigerator actually weighs less than the Dometic that we had in here. It was put kind of into this little pocket and there was a platform that we had to remove. There was a decent amount of wood in there, so that took away some weight. It's bigger, so I have much more room. Even though I still only shop once a week, it's much easier to keep organized. I can really see what I have. No temperature fluctuations. Even on travel day, pretty much what we do on travel day, I make our lunches and then we just keep it closed. We don't get back into it. We secure it all up and then we only drive about 4 hours. And so by the time we get to our destination, everything is still exactly the same when we turn it back on. There's no propane that we have to deal with, and we've eliminated that fire hazard. I think it looks better. I really like that it's one door that you open up and not the French doors. We purchased ours from Lowe's and they delivered, which was nice. They delivered it right to our RV park. The guys brought it in and went ahead and installed it. We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to pay any extra for that either. And they took away the old refrigerator for us. Now, Lowe's usually charges a $50 fee for that, and I would say that's worth it. But here's a little secret. The delivery guys told us that they don't see any of that money. That delivery charge is just going to Lowe's for nothing. So, something to keep in mind. Maybe just don't pay that. And then when they come, just say, can you take this? And they'll probably do it. They were so nice. They took great care of our stuff. The hardest part of the whole job was removing the old Dometic. It's kind of one of those things you just got to open it up and look at it and figure out what to do, huh?
Unhooked our propane line. Easy as that. We'll just cap it. Stick a plug in there. Your 12 volt or your plug. 12 volt connections. Make sure they're taped off. And then there was 2 screws in here holding it in. Just one there, one here.
Well, I can't see it, but that's okay. Oh, is that the little screw?
No, that's a different screw.
Oh, gee.
Don't look at that screw.
And that's it?
That's it for back here, I do believe. We'll go inside and there'll be a couple more screws up there we'll have to take out, and it should slide right out.
The fridge was in there pretty tight, so it took a bit of wiggling to finally get it out. Jeff had to remove the platform to make room for the new refrigerator. To cover the top vent, he reused a piece of Luan board from removing the platform and adjusted a piece that was there before. To cover the bottom vent, he reused the metal baffling that was on the top and then sealed everything up with silicone. He installed a couple D-rings into the aluminum studs for a kayak strap to secure the fridge for travel days. So now let's get to some of the drawbacks. For me, there are no drawbacks. I have not had anything be annoying about it. For others, they would say there's no way to use the refrigerator unless you're connected to electricity. But that's not necessarily true. We have a generator. I know not everyone has a generator, but it's worth it to have a generator. You can buy a brand new generator, solar panel, charge controller, and inverter, which would give you 2 power options to run the residential fridge for much less than the price of replacing the 2-way absorption fridge. I would say for a lot of people who pretty much just camp on the weekends that it could be a good option. For the simple fact that you do have the propane, you can run the refrigerator with propane without having to have electricity. That's really all I could think of. Maybe I'm biased. Are there any other benefits? Now for some bonus quick tips. Number 1, don't buy too many groceries. When you go grocery shopping, are you buying more than what you'll eat in the time before it goes bad? You just want to make sure that you're just not over-consuming, over-buying, and then it goes to waste. I think that might be one of the biggest issues, is that you go and you're hungry and you're throwing all this stuff in, or you have ideas, you see something and you're like, ooh, I can make blah, blah, blah. And then you buy it and then it goes bad in the refrigerator because you didn't actually have the plan for it. Meal planning is another great way to save money, and it doesn't have to be super complicated. For me, I have a dry erase board right on the refrigerator, so I write down 7 days of what I feel like eating, what I feel like making, what everyone else maybe wants to have. I mainly focus on dinner meals because we either eat your typical lunch staples or we'll eat leftovers. And then I make my grocery list based on that. When I make my grocery list, I look in the refrigerator and the freezer and the pantry. I sort of shop there first and see what ingredients I need. And then sometimes I'll only need one thing for a certain meal. And so that goes on my list. That's it. You don't have to make it complicated. And you don't have to stick to those days. Let's say Monday you have spaghetti. Tuesday you have tacos. Monday rolls around and you're like, I'm not feeling spaghetti, let's have tacos instead. You can totally do that. It doesn't have to be so rigid. It just makes it much easier. We're about 2 months in on the fridge upgrade, and so far so good. We're still very happy with it. One of our best upgrades so far, along with my absolute favorite, the washer and dryer. If you're on the fence with that one, watch this video next. You'll get the good, the bad, and the ugly, along with some useful tips and tricks to get the most out of your machine. We just hit 500,000 views on our channel, so I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate each one of you. I love your comments. They mean so much to me. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next week.